I can remember at the age of 10 when I first made the basketball team. And in that moment, I was so excited of making this team with all these other players. And now I was finally going to get my opportunity to compete. But within that excitement, something started to speak and whisper something to me. What if you are not good enough? What if you are not accepted by the others? What if the coach doesn't like you? What if the coach doesn't play you? What if the coach? And in that specific moment at the age of 10, my mind was not fully developed to comprehend this whisper in my ear, this voice that I couldn't get rid of. And as time passed, as I started to practice, and as I started to go through the season, this voice would continually follow me. Up until one day I was having a conversation with my coach, and I was just sharing with him all of these thoughts that were coming into my mind, and this voice that kept reminding me of who I was. And what the coach told me was so profound. And I tell you this morning that even though the enemy lied, the truth will stand the test of time. He said to me, Aaron, if you prepare, if you practice, and if you believe what you're practicing is the thing that is going to help you get better, all you got to do, Aaron, is do the same thing you did in practice in the game. What he wanted me to understand is that voice that I was hearing was the voice of doubt, was the voice of fear, and was a voice of failure. And what I want to tell you today is you could be starting something new and you could be excited about what you're going to do. But then it could be a voice in your ear that is reminding you of your insecurities, reminding you of who you're not. And I tell you, as the coach told me, if you just prepare, if you just practice, and if you just put the things in practice that you believe are right, if you learn, he said to me, as I say to you, you will accomplish everything that you want to accomplish, because sometimes this is the reality. Sometimes we overcomplicate what's simple, but sometimes we allow the lie in our mind, the word of fear, to be louder than the word of encouragement, the word of faith, the word of the fact that if God called you to it, God will call you through it. And that is the most important thing I need you to understand. There are so many of us that are dealing with doubt and fear and all these different emotions that come with progressing. And I just want to let you know that's normal. Like, it's normal. Like, what you're feeling right now in this moment is something you are supposed to feel for a person at your age, for a person with your experience. And sometimes you discredit that. You look at other people's lives and you say, that is what I want and that is where I'm supposed to be, not even knowing how they got to where they are, not even knowing the trials and tribulations that they went through, the days that they were discouraged, the days that they felt like giving up, the days that they were overwhelmed, the days that they were broke, the days that they went through all of these different health crises or mental crises or emotional crises. And that is what I want to encourage us on today. There are going to be two pathways that we can live by. There are going to be two words that we can live by. We can either live by the words of fear, which God didn't give us, which always are there and ever present to discourage us, always there to try to project lies and different things on us, always trying to get us to have a pessimistic, negative, stinking thinking mentality and methodology. And I want to challenge folks that deal with fear. I want to challenge you today. I want to let you know that I deal with fear. I deal with so many different fears each and every day. Every day I wake, am I going to make it to work safely? Is my kids going to be okay? Is my wife going to be pleased with thus and that? Am I going to be able to perform effectively as a husband and as a father and as a leader at work? Am I ever going to accomplish the thing that God promised me in the darkness? Like, it's taking way too long for me to get there. Will I ever get there? Will I find good friendships and people to be around me that can help me and pray for me and build with me. And I went through that whole progression, and I'm telling you, man, you can't dismiss those things, that part of your life. You can't dress it up. You can't cut it out. You can't put a filter on it. You have to deal with it, and you have to face it every day. And it may not ever leave you. When I was 10, the same fears I felt at the age of 10 are the same fears that I feel right now at work. The same fears I feel when I put out these videos and I try to encourage somebody. But the second thing that I learned that didn't come from me, that came from a power greater than me, was the pathway of faith. I faced my fears, and I realized having faith is not the absence of fear. Fear will always be here till Jesus comes. But what I realized is God didn't give me this spirit of fear, but he gave me power, he gave me love, and he gave me sound mind. So if I operate within this pathway, and as I develop this faith muscle, as I do not think more highly of myself than I ought to think, as I think soberly, as I realize that I am going to have fears, as I realize that I am going to be in a place, in a posture that's going to be challenging for me, then I'm able to receive. Then I'm able to say, okay, God didn't give me this. This is not the way I'm supposed to go. Let me explore this faith principle. Faith of the mustard seed. Okay, cool. I'm not thinking of myself anymore, Lord. Like, Lord, I have these dreams and I have these desires that I want to do that you've called me to, not me. He's saying, okay, Aaron, if you truly believe that, then this is what I want you to do. Each and every day I want you to pray, okay? I want you to seek me, okay? And I want you to read the scriptures with a non-biased point of view. Ask the Holy Spirit to come in and give you the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And then I want you to do exactly what it says. But I can't do it, Lord, in my own power. Don't worry about it. What I'm going to do is, if you fear me appropriately, if you reverence me and respect me and you honor your craft that I'm giving you, then I'm going to come in and do the work in you. For it is God who works in you both are willing to do. Like, I'm not going to call you to it if I can't call you through it. I've given you the Holy Spirit to work in you. And as the Holy Spirit works in you, the Holy Spirit is the one that judges. The Holy Spirit is the one that corrects you. The Holy Spirit is the one that allows you to see exactly who you are, not to stay where you are, but to help you grow and to help you develop. And let me just tell you this, as I started to continue to hoop, 10 years old, 11 years old, yep, there was bumps in the roads. There was times in my basketball journey where I wasn't good. I was sucked. But what I did is I stopped believing a lie. I faced a lie. I practiced every day. I put in the work. I trusted God in the process. And in trusting God in this process, what God allowed me to do is God allowed me to grow. He allowed me to get better. So I started at 10. I got better at 11. Got better at 12. Man, by the time I was 16, I was one of the best players on my team. And not only was I the best players on my team, I was one of the best players in the city. Why? Because I prepared in the darkness. I believed what I was doing, and I just applied it. I didn't overcomplicate things. I just did it every day. And then when I started to really connect vertically to Jesus, and he started to come in and he started to give me revelation, and he started to really give me the power, and he started to work with me, man, by the time I was 18, man, I was like top 50 in the state of Florida. Same Aaron at 10 years old that had all these fears and had all these disappointments was allowing himself to develop this faith discipline. And the faith discipline is limitless. And every portion of faith that I developed in basketball, it's like a universal principle. You could take it in basketball. I took it to school. I took it to my relationships. I took it to college. I took it to my job now. I take it to my parenting. Man, here a little, there a little, faith a little, there a little, everywhere a little faith. And man, what I realized before I knew it, man, my faith was on swole. I had the faith of Jesus working in me, and that is where I was truly set free. I don't know where you are right now. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you're overwhelmed by. But one thing is for certain, and two things are for sure. As you move forward, as you fail forward, as you faith forward, as you leave your fears in the rearview mirror, faith is something that is waiting on you, Will you step into it today? Let's go.